Hello and welcome to another episode of Community Connections, airing on OROMIA11. I am your host, Anna Orr, and today we are talking with two members of the Healthy Brain Child Development Study taking place right here in the Twin Cities. This is going to be a wonderful episode highlighting resources for the community and I think providing some really important gems for parents and kids alike. Please stay tuned. This is going to be a wonderful episode you won't want to miss. Hello, ladies.
Hi.
I'm so excited to have you guys joining me on this episode of Community Connections. Let's start off by having you all both introduce yourself to viewers, and then we'll get right into it and talk about the nature of today's amazing episode.
Great. Do you want to start?
Well, yeah, I'll go ahead. So my name's Jessica Broden. I am one of the study navigators on our research team, and my role is really just to support families in the enrollment process and just throughout the study as well with whatever resources and things they need.
And Angelica?
Yes, I'm Angelica. I'm also a study navigator as well as a certified peer recovery specialist. So my job varies a little bit in that in addition to the resources, I provide support for people in recovery from substance use disorder or mental health issues. So, yeah.
That's very important. So you guys are working on the Healthy Brain and Child Development Study at the University of Minnesota. That's what, if nobody can tell, that's what we're talking about today. Can you guys talk to me about what the study is specifically for people that are unfamiliar? I'm a Minnesotan, and actually I think, found out from my mother, I think I participated as a child in some of this stuff. So I'm like, what? She was like, yeah, we'll talk about that. I'm like, where did that come from? But sure. So please explain to viewers basically what the study is.
So we are the Healthy Brain and Child Development Study. It's actually a national study sponsored by the National Institutes of Health. And so there's 27 sites across the country, and the University of Minnesota is one of them. And the goal really is to look at babies and children's brain development from before birth to about 10 years old.
Wow, yeah. That's really important.
So we're looking basically at like how environmental factors, how socioeconomic status, all of these things that happen in life, pardon me, how they affect your development long term. So
that's important.
Yeah.
Now talk to me about when this study began. You said that there are 25 active studies across the country taking place currently, right? Mm-hmm. When did this actually begin?
Well, Angelica's actually been on the study since the very beginning. She is very well versed. She's the OG team.
Yes, that is true. I started with the study before the study actually even began piloting. But the actual, the main study itself after piloting just began, I believe it was
just this summer.
Yeah, August-ish or something like
August,
that.
Late
so
July.
We've been recruiting since then. And that's kind of the phase we're in right now, recruiting, but also having people come in for visits.
Now, let's talk about what that looks like. You guys are currently recruiting. Where are you located for people that may want to pop in or connect with the study? Let's start talking about location first off.
We are at the Masonic Institute of the Developing Brain, right on East River Parkway, about a mile away from the main U of M Minneapolis campus.
And who can actually participate in the study? What would be ideal candidates? Either or I can take one from
an ideal candidate is pretty much anybody that is 18 years or older and that can, speak and understand English. Those are the two main criteria in addition to being pregnant.
Okay.
Other than that, we have no criteria.
Okay.
So it's pretty much open for everybody. We want a reflection of the community, so that's kind of why we're trying to leave it as basic as possible for recruiting.
Jessica, share with me what the goal of this study is.
Our goal of the study is to just get a large data set of information that can help us answer some pretty pertinent questions. How does the relationship between caregivers and their children affect their development? How does the environment or substance exposure, how do all of those things affect our children's development? And one thing that the study really values is diversity. And so if science helps to drive, data and standards and recommendations that we give our families, we want to make sure that that data represents all of us. Yeah. And so we really work to try to be out in the community so that we can have, representation from everyone in our research.
Yeah. Now you guys are talking about being out in the community. Does this mean you guys are tabling at events? You guys are cold calling or walking up door to door? Let me know what that actually looks like.
All of those things.
Yeah.
We love doing community events. Yeah. We actually have some coming up, doing some community resource fairs and even the Minnesota State Fair. Like, we love being face to face so we can kind of answer questions and concerns. We're also connecting with community organizations. Sometimes we do just really go door to door in different neighborhoods, trying to connect with their community centers and resource centers.
What is some of the feedback been from community when you guys have either gone door to door or attended some of these events about the nature of the study? Because I know when people hear research study about the brain and our kids, culturally, people of color have a hindrance to that because of the historical precedent that we've had with the medical community. So how do you guys actively try and calm some of the fears or some of the hesitancy that may exist from parents around having their child participate in this study?
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest things that we address with people, and it's important to note, like, that is, in addition to us working with the participants throughout the study, that's why we're here. I initially was brought on for that purpose, to advocate for people with substance use disorder, people who have low economic status, all of those things that we face that people in research generally don't understand. And that's kind of why Jessica was brought on, and Mariah, who's our other partner. Because of that, we want to be able to advocate for the participants and say, this is not something that they're going to be comfortable with, or, they need this or more of this, less of this. We're doing it behind the scenes constantly, and we'll continue to do it throughout the study. If somebody comes to us with a concern or whatever it may be, it's really important to us that they feel comfortable in the study and feel respected, and not just, another number or another piece of data.
You all are talking about working with some other community organizations. Are these listed as community partners, people that are kind of helping you guys not only reach target populations that you want to reach, or kind of what does that look like for them to partner with the Healthy Brain Child Development Study?
Well, I think it's kind of their decision. We have had people that have wanted to be partners, and they are utilized for a little bit more than some people that just want to partner with us in the sense of, we will refer people to them, they'll refer people to us. So it's kind of their decision, but if they do, sometimes we can help financially, sometimes, we'll put them on, not sometimes, they're on the website, they're on our newsletters, anything like that, where we can get them exposure as much as possible as well. So I think it depends on what they're looking for, but we like to collaborate in a way where they feel satisfied as well, not just us. So it's not just the participants, but also the community organizations. We want them to feel respected and appreciated, because they should be. They're helping us a lot. If it wasn't for them, our recruitment numbers would not be what they are. So we do value those relationships tremendously.
What has the feedback been from the community, Angelica, when you're talking to people one-on-one about some of their concerns or some of their inquiries about this study? What are you hearing consistently from people that you're working with?
Honestly, I think the biggest thing is the time. It is a commitment for sure. And then a lot of people are concerned about the MRI. That comes up a lot, and I don't know maybe if that's just, it's a newborn baby and you want to be careful, and so I think those are the two things we've come up with probably the most often. We can usually get past if we're able to talk to people one-on-one, I think we can get to the point where we can get them to understand this is more than just research to us anyway. I mean, it has personal meaning to me and Jessica. So we're able to get past that. I think it's just now, do they want to and are they able to commit to the time frame that it consists of, and are they comfortable with some of the assessments and screenings that are done throughout the research study.
Now, you've highlighted a little bit about the time frame of the study. Share with viewers what it actually looks like once you participate in the study and what the duration of that actually looks like, if you wouldn't mind.
Right, so it's a 10-year study. We are funded right now for the first 5 years, but we do expect to have funding for the additional 5 years after. The main hump I think that people have to get through is that first year. I believe there's
about 4 to 5 visits
in
the first year of life.
Yeah, so there's a nice chunk in the first year, and then after that it goes to about every year and a half, every other year, something like that. So I think that's the biggest thing. And so they have a visit during pregnancy, but then there's a visit right within the first month of the child's life. That is also one I think that we're kind of having a little difficulty with, because you're a new parent, you're overwhelmed, your baby's just tiny, and so that one I think,
not sleeping.
Right, and that one's a little tricky, so I think that's another thing that we're trying to make as comfortable as possible. Like the mom can come and rest, and we take care of the baby. We have child care for other children. We provide meals, snacks, transportation, car seat, anything that they need to streamline it and make it as smooth as possible and take away the stress of it is our goal. We want moms to just be able to relax when they're there and not have this feel like a burden.
I think it's so important because, as we know, there's no handbook, right, for becoming a parent and raising children. No. And there seems like every day there's something else scary rearing its ugly head for you to be fearful of.
Yeah.
And it sounds like this is a way for you guys to come alongside parents and not only provide them with information about what their child's brain development looks like, but also if there's some things from a preventative standpoint you can navigate on the front end versus waiting until they get to school.
Yeah, exactly. We're here, we'll do check-ins throughout their pregnancy and even after their visits. And families, we'll get the results of the research, the study activities. And if there's something that comes up that's you might want to, go check in with a pediatrician about, we're able to give them that information so they can, make sure the baby is as healthy as can be.
Yeah.
Jessica, talk to me a little bit about what healthy brain and child development looks like. Because I think some people hear that and they expect their child to become bilingual and to stand and start, solving quadratic equations. And it's slow down. That gifted may come a little later. Let's kind of start, what are the beginning signs of some of this so we can start putting this in perspective?
Well, I guess I should preface, I am not a scientist at all. And I would say really that's part of the goal of the study. What does normal brain development look like for children? And we know a lot of research kind of has been based off of, perhaps white middle-class families. And so the goal of this study is to bring in, other community members. And so we can have a baseline that really does represent all of us.
I think that's really important. Now, I just wanted to talk about some of the questions that I was looking at when I was looking at the website, but also the brochure, which I thought was really well thought out. So whoever put that together on the team, I think you guys, especially from me not having any type of scientific background or anything like that, I felt it was really easy to read and it was really easy to follow for information. But one of the questions that I saw there and I wanted to bring up on air was, it says, how do social interactions change a child's health outcomes? And I don't think that that's something, well, let me speak for myself as someone who doesn't have children. I've never thought about that.
Yeah, that's
what it looks like.
Yeah.
Can you talk to me about how you guys plan or how you guys kind of work some of that, answering some of that in the study as best you can without being a researcher on the study?
Yes. So I would say that we will ask the the birthing parents and the families to complete surveys throughout the study, kind of about their home life, about, you know, who is the baby interacting with most. And, you know, sometimes their families will experience violence or exposure to substances and things in their home. And so we really try to encourage families to discuss those things, so we can learn how they might impact development.
Yeah. We also do assessments as well, where we are having the parent and the child sit together and do little activities together and kind of see how the child responds to the parent, or, you know, if the parent steps up and turns around, how does the child react, and things like that. So they look at a lot, not just with assessments, but in person as much as possible, to see kind of, you know, where that's going and how that is applied to the responses from the assessments.
Angelica, why do you believe this work is so important?
Well, for me, I am in recovery from substance use disorder, and I did use substances while I was pregnant. So that has been something that I've carried with me for a long time, a lot of guilt, and just watching my daughter as she grows and kind of looking for things and like not knowing what I'm looking for, but kind of being paranoid about all of it, and just feeling like I was so alone during that, not only throughout my pregnancy and, you know, after she was born, but in the recovery process. I want to be able to be there for somebody, you know, whoever needs that, whether they're ready for recovery or not. But just, you know, I struggled through a lot, domestic violence and homelessness and all of these things, and it was so lonely and so scary that being there for somebody else while they're going through it, and trying to offer, you know, support, encouragement, resources, a listening ear, whatever it may be, is something that is really important to me. It's my way to not only give back, but to heal myself from those things, and just to kind of see where this research goes for my child's sake, and to get answers for myself and for her is super important to me, as a mother and somebody in recovery. So yeah, I think it's meaningful to me for that reason, and just because I know how hard it is to go through some of those things alone, and to know that this study is unique in providing that. It was something that I definitely wanted to be a part of, because it's the first of its kind. So
That's encouraging. Jessica, can you share with me why you find this work to be so poignant?
Yeah, I think when I first learned about the study, I'm currently a graduate student at the University of Minnesota School of Social Work program. And so when I heard about this study, I got so excited. I think maternal and infant health is something that's really important to me, especially when looking at communities of color that don't always have the best outcomes in those areas. So I liked the idea of being able to help support that, as well as kind of using some social work skills to really, you know, help families navigate through life. So I think it's a great blend of the two of those things.
Now talk to me what the process of the study looks like from beginning to end. What can parents expect if they're participating in the study?
Well, I guess once, you know, they get a hold of our contact information, or we get a hold of them, we do have to confirm that they are receiving prenatal care, whether it's doctor or, you know, a mental health therapist. We confirm that they receive care. We do a screening call. There's really no reason families wouldn't be eligible. It's just kind of a protocol so we can understand the demographics of our families. And then we'll schedule them for a first visit. And we usually try to do it in their second trimester. Is there anything else to add?
No, I just think it's important to note why we have to confirm care.
Please.
So the purpose of that is to protect the families, because we are gathering information that it's sensitive information, you know, whether somebody is in a violent relationship, if they're using substances. These are things that people could consider reportable, especially with the substances. So because of a law that says that as long as somebody is receiving care, we don't have to report them. So we do that prior to, because we want to make sure that they don't have to worry about us, you know, bringing them into the study and then calling CPS 2 seconds later. So our goal is not to report them, but it's to encourage them and support them and provide services to help them, you know, overcome whatever it is that they're struggling with, you know, while gathering the data, of course. But yeah, so it's a protection for them, basically.
I think that's powerful to share, but also to ensure for people that may want to participate but may be feeling some hesitancy because of the situation that they may be in. Thank you for sharing that. Now, we talked about the different groups you all are supporting as you navigate this work with the HBCD study, but is there language support available for people that may not be English speakers?
Unfortunately, there's not any interpreters available at the University of Minnesota site.
Okay. That's important to know, because I know that we have a lot of people that may not be comfortable, right, once it's time to maybe talk long term or have to fill out paperwork and things like that. So I love to have that conversation with people that come on the show, just so people know what they're walking into, or if they know that they need to request it in advance, they can have the support services, because we know that language can be a barrier, but it doesn't have to stay an existing one if we're able to talk about what we need. I think that's very important. Now, for people that are participating in the study, is there any type of cost associated with that?
Not at all. No. You just show up and we'll do the rest. We do provide compensation for families that are participating. It ends up being about $40 an hour, in addition to, you know, transportation if they need it.
Or reimbursement for mileage.
Yep, mileage reimbursement. You know, we have some fun little prizes and like cute little gifts that we give away as well. Support with childcare, meals during the visits.
And if they come from, you know, like a certain distance away, we can provide a hotel stay for the longer visits.
That's important.
So I mean, I think it's great in terms of, like, we try to make sure that they benefit as much as possible. We have a resource closet where they can get diapers, wipies, clothes. I mean, pretty much anything you would need as a new parent, even for not just the child but the parent. You know, we have clothes for the mother, or, you know, like extra feminine products and things like that. So we try to make sure that we have everything that may, you know, come up if the baby spits up on you, or you know. So and also just for, like, the, you know, if you have other children, we have backpacks with supplies, we have little toys and things like that. So we try to make sure we have as much as possible on hand for the families. And like she said, we do give incentives at each visit as well for the parent and the child. So they get that as well. And then also when they do the confirmation of care, they get a Target gift card. So we try to throw little things in there as much as possible. Just
keep people fueled as they're going through the study. I understand. I think that's wonderful. And I think it sounds like the wraparound services you guys are offering are necessary. Who doesn't want to be able to go to Target and pick up some things and not have to reach inside their wallet and use their money? Or, like you said, if transportation is an issue for you, if we can get ahead of that, we won't have to interrupt the progress of you participating in the study, and you can still get to the end goal, which is providing you and your baby the best level of care.
I mean, and some of these things are just expensive. Diapers, car seats, wipies, it adds up, you know. And if you're a single parent or you have multiple children, you know, as much support as possible is always a benefit. So
I think that's very important. Jessica, for somebody that is hesitant but feels like they can benefit from the resources you guys are offering at the study, can you please just look into this camera and just give them a word of encouragement for them to reach out?
Well, you know, your concerns are valid and we respect them. Let's have a conversation. We can talk about it until you feel, you know, comfortable with the study. We can be reached at, by phone, 612-505-2594. Our email is hbcd@uminn.edu. at umn.edu, or you can check out our website as well, hbcdstudy.org.
I know things seem difficult right now, and you may be feeling scared and alone and overwhelmed at the thought of reaching out, but we are here and you can do it. I know you can. Just contact us, and even if you're not interested in the study, I am more than willing to help you find the support and resources that you need to get to where you want to be. So please reach out whenever you get that feeling of confidence, like you can do it. Take that time, take that moment, and just contact us, and we can go from there.
Thank you both for joining me. Before I let you go, my final question, are you all on social media? And if so, can you provide us with your social media handles so that viewers can stay connected to you guys and the amazing work you're doing?
We sure are. You could follow us on Facebook at Minnesota HBCD Study, or on Instagram at HBCD_UMN.
Wonderful. Thank you both for joining me today, and please keep up the amazing work. And we salute both of you as we wrap up Women's History Month.
Thank you, and thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you so much.
Unfortunately, that is all the time that we have for today's episode of Community Connections. A very special thank you to Angelica and Jessica and Mariah, who is not on camera but is the newest member of the team. So if you are joining the Healthy Brain Child Development Study, you will be meeting one of these young ladies, if not all, as you navigate your journey with them. If something that has been shared today you have found inspirational, educational, and/or informative, please make sure that you plug in with the resources provided. And I would love to connect again with you soon. As always, I am Anna Orr, and this has been Community Connections, airing on OROMIA11.